Hey guys, this is Deltrox from Masque here, and today we are going to be going over a veteran Sunspire as our main tank analysis today. This won't be any of the hard modes, it's just going to be normal Sunspire, or veteran Sunspire, but just no hard modes, just fire, ice, and time. And so yeah, let's get on into it. There won't be any comms because I messed up the recording again. But you'll be able to hear me, and so that should hopefully be enough. Okay, so this is a score run, so we do all the trash and everything. I will be going through all of it, and you'll and I'll kind of go through what we do on trash. This group doesn't do trash very often, and so it's kind of a shit show, to be honest, on a few of them. But I'm tanking the four-legged cats, and Got, our off tank, is tanking everything else. And so right here, what I try to do is I try to line them up. Like right here, so that the DPS can stay on the stairs and hit them down. That way, the cats can be throwing all their front conals at me, because they have a swipe attack that is a conal in front of them, and then they also have their jump, which is like a kind of a star that comes out from them. I'll point it out. So there's the swipe, and this guy's about to do the jump, I think. Yep, here we go. There's the jump where it sends out the 5 shockwaves from him. Needs to be blocked if you're a DPS, otherwise it'll do a bunch of damage and possibly kill you. The Fates go down first. And so here you might see me taunt the Fate. That's just so that I can get Yolnahkriin off. So I'm wearing Ebon Yolnahkriin. Otherwise, it's all Got. So there I taunted the Fate so that I can get Yolnahkriin procced. And that's it. For these next pull, there's going to be a cat that spawns on this side and one that spawns on the other side. Basically what's going to happen is I range taunt this one, range taunt the one behind me, and then try and pull him back into this pond, just like I did before. And then this is pretty standard. The white cats, the storm cats, will overcharge people. Like you saw, got overcharged there. And so just be aware of that. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead to the dragon. Because this pull, same thing, just the cats. We pull them all into this corner. Nothing exciting really there. Alright, so here's the dragon. So I'm going to be the main tank, and so I will tank the dragon to the left while everybody else damages the dragon on the right. I'm going to stand, you'll see where I stand. But basically on the ice dragon as the main tank, the only thing you really need to be worried about is this frost breath. And everything else difficult in this fight is handled by the off tank. You see, I run up, poke him, do my debuff, and then he does his tombs. So when he throws his head up like that, and you see the frozen tomb pop up on your raid notifier, you can actually debuff him there. Because he won't be doing any light attacks or anything. Because his light attacks actually do hurt quite a bit, and so if he catches you a light attack in a bar swap and then immediately goes into his frost breath, you can be in trouble. So you want to try and make sure that you block all of his light attacks too. Okay, here's the Frost Breath. So you see what I do there? I repop my Hardened Armor and my Igneous before it starts, and then I just kind of sit on Green Dragon's Blood and then press it whenever I drop below about 75% health. I also save a potion for that usually, unless I'm really struggling on resources. That way I can pop a potion as another burst heal. Then he does the Bite, which the Bite doesn't do very much damage as long as you block it. There was one of the light attacks that I didn't get blocked. You saw it did about 30% of my health. Okay, here's the Frost Breath. Again, I just kind of spam my Green Dragon's Blood, and we're all good. During this part, you won't see me really do anything except for debuff. I might taunt one of the Storm Atronachs so that I can proc Yolnahkriin. Otherwise, I just kind of get resources back and debuff and stuff like that. So right now, there we go. I finally did it, where I taunted a Storm Atronach to get Yolnahkriin procced. Otherwise, I could be heavy attacking here with my Ice Staff to regen Magicka, which I really should be doing because I'm pretty low on Magicka. Got, our off tank, is super new to this fight, and so you see him actually miss one of the circles there. It's not a big deal. We have enough DPS to just, so he doesn't have to deal with it for very long. We can just ignore it. See, another Frost Breath. Just kind of sit on Green Dragon's Blood. The Bite, like I said, doesn't do very much damage. So you saw that one got a little spicy because I didn't have my potion, and I was running pretty low on Magicka. And so I didn't get to just spam Green Dragon's Blood that time. But my healers got me, and yeah. More Frost Breath. You can also save the Purify, the Harvest, and the Blood Feast synergies, because each one of those is a burst heal as well. So again, there's another circle that got missed. Again, not a big deal. Just basically as the off tank, if you miss a circle, it just makes your job harder. So here, I decided to take one of the Storm Atronachs, or one of the Ice Atronachs, to make Gott's job a little bit easier, so that he doesn't have to worry about all four of them. So I just take it, and I just kind of hover around the group. And I just kind of hang out. You see Gott takes him back there, and so then I'm just kind of on the lookout. One of the Atronachs gets loose, and so I make sure to taunt him right there, and then I just kind of try and drag him into the circles too. So, and then I just get back into position for when the dragon comes down. And rinse and repeat. Sorry there's no game sound, by the way. Like I said, my recording got messed up, and so I don't get comms or game sound. The Ice Dragon is pretty boring to main tank. It's kind of like Olms. Your only job is really to survive and debuff, which it's not that hard to survive as long as you know what you're doing and you got good healers, which I have really good healers with me this time. Just don't bar swap during the Frost Breath, and make sure to really pay attention to your resources going into it. See right there, I even lost taunt for like half a second, and it's really not a big deal. Obviously, don't try and lose taunt; it's bad. But if you do during Frost Breath, I don't think he'll change targets, but he might. So just try and keep taunt on him the entire time. Again, I take a Frost Atronach and just kind of hover around where the Storm Atronachs are. I just kind of catch any of them that look like they're going towards the group. And otherwise just hover around Storm Atronach so that I can put them in the circles. I want to make sure to block his horizontal lightning breath thing that he just did. It won't do that much damage to you since you're a tank, but it's still good practice to block it. Okay, dragon's back, so I go back to the dragon. And there we go. That is the Ice Dragon. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead, skip all the trash to the Fire Dragon. Let's see. It's trash. Alright, here we go. Fire Dragon's a lot more difficult as the main tank because he does his heavy attack, leaves behind a circle of fire on your feet. And so you want to just really watch that. Because it does a lot of damage. It does just as much damage as the breath, if not more. Sorry, I'm yawning like crazy. But anyways, the fire breath will, or the heavy attack will leave behind a circle of fire that you need to get out of. And so you kind of have to shuffle back and forth in this fight. You'll see that there are times where I'll start here, and then he'll heavy attack me, and then I'll kind of move over to the head, then he'll heavy attack me, and I'll move back to the wing, and I'll just kind of shuffle back and forth. Otherwise, his fire breath is exactly the same as the frost breath, just kind of rebuff, and then hold igneous, and wait for it to go. Oh, Jesus. Sorry about the yawns. So you see there, I just moved, saved a synergy for when I was moving. That would heal me up. It'd be a burst heal. Otherwise, I could just green dragon's blood. And yeah, just healers, be sure to stay on the lookout. Because like I said, that does a ton of damage. But yeah, you can just block and move to the side, and all is good. Make sure not to shuffle too far to the side, otherwise you'll get wing slapped. Okay, so right here, Got died, and so I have to take the Iron Servant and Yolnukrin. And luckily my healers are amazing, and I didn't die there. But yeah, so hopefully that won't have to happen. But if you need to, you can sit on Magma Shell if you're feeling uncomfortable. That way, if ever you have to tank both of them at the same time, you can just Magma Shell and everything is fine. Otherwise, don't get too far back. Don't get about double the distance from where I am now. Otherwise, you'll get focus fire. Or not focus fire, pyroclasm, which is basically you'll just take a shit ton of damage out of nowhere. You'll take like 40,000 damage. So you see here, Got went down again, and so I had to take the Iron Atronachs. When they enrage, I just pop Magma Shell because they will like do like 80% of your health with a light attack when they're enraged. And so I just Magma Shell to not worry about it. And then it's just rinse and repeat. Dragon flies up every 25%. And that's about it. Don't get too close to him. Oh my god, I could not stop yawning. Okay, don't get too close to him. Otherwise, he'll kind of headbutt you and boop you, and it'll cause you to drop block, which will kill you. Because if you're dropping block during his heavy attack or during his fire breath, it will pretty much one-shot you. Yeah, not much else during this fight, so I'm just gonna kind of let it play out. You want to make sure not to get too close to the head, otherwise you'll scorch the head group, which I think I do at some point in this fight. I get a little too close and I roast one or two people. That's also, if you're the head group, try and stand like as far away from the head as you can, with as long as you don't overlap with the other group, just to give your tank a little bit more space. I think it's right here where I scorched some people. Yep, I scorched at least one person there. So that was just me being too close. Yeah, it was Hydra that I scorched. But yeah, so just really watch your placements of things. And there is the fire boss. Alright, I'm now going to skip along to the final boss, Navitas. People call him Navi or the Time Dragon or whatever you want to call him. Skip through some trash. Oh, this is a trash pull that you'll always have to do, and so I'll mention something. You'll have one tank take the left side, and you'll have one tank take the right side. And basically what you do is you just taunt the ads that come up, and then you run back out the door. So you see, taunt them both, then I just run away. Dodge roll through this guy if you have to. There is a bug where you can't target anything on the other side of the door if you're on this side. And so you might have to run forward to taunt the stuff again. But if your DPS is good enough, it'll all just die before your taunt runs out. Alright, let's skip ahead a little bit. Oh, too far. Okay, so for an Aventus, basically what you're going to do is one tank is going to take the right side of the guys, and the other tank is going to take the left side. Good lord. And then you're going to stack them all on the fates. So for the first two pulls, there's only going to be one. There's only going to be one fate, and then for the next two pulls, there are going to be two fates. This big yellow circle that he throws out, you want to make sure to drag the ads out of it, because otherwise it'll enrage them and heal them, which is not something that you want. It's not a big deal if it happens, especially if you have a group that knows what they're doing, but it's just kind of annoying. You want to make sure to figure out which one of your tanks is going to taunt the boss first, which is going to be me since I'm wearing Yolnukren. Taunt the boss, and he's just like the Ice Dragon. He doesn't have a heavy attack that leaves behind a circle or anything like that. So you just kind of hang out. He has one move that will cause the tanks to have to switch, which I will point out. It's that one. Your screen turns gray, like dark green, and you have to switch bosses because you get a huge debuff for 15 seconds, I believe. You want to make sure to dodge roll out of those time stops because they will stun you, and occasionally you have to switch while you're stunned, which is bad. You can see I know when to take him back because his mouth kind of goes all like green and pukey looking. He also does a shout, and so you can, it's like Ralkun or something like that. I don't know. Once you hear it a time or two, you'll figure out exactly what it sounds like. Otherwise, you can just watch for the particles around his mouth. So one of the ads got enraged here. Like I said, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of annoying because they don't take very much damage when they're enraged. They're kind of hard to kill. But we got him, no problem. And oh yeah, if you didn't notice the statues, it doesn't matter which one you hide behind when you have to go and hide. And so I usually just stand by this one the entire time. That way I can immediately go out and taunt the boss. Those lava geysers, it's a good idea to stay out of them because they do quite a bit of damage, but they won't like insta-kill you or anything. So don't worry about them too much if you have to. So right here, I believe it's right here, I get the breath and this fire atronach combust at the same time. And so you see I take a whole shit ton of damage. And so you really got to be aware if that happens and take and really use your healing well. I'm not exactly sure what causes those fire atronachs to combust. I think it's as if they're up for a certain amount of time, they'll combust like that. But just be ready for it if it happens. If you're the off tank, try and chain in the fire atronachs to like kind of underneath the dragon. That way they just get brought down and cleave. This doesn't happen during this fight, but occasionally you will get marked for death right as you go into an ad phase. If that happens, you're going to take a shit ton of damage, and so just be ready. And so you can either magma shell or just play super defensively, or let your other tank know and they can take some of your ads or something like that. Because yeah, you're going to take a ton of damage. So you see I kind of move out of the fire geyser there. Breath happens. You don't have to worry about being too far away from Navi. He won't pyroclasm you or anything like that. He will headbutt you if you get too close. But yeah, that is about it. You see, I try and chain in the atronach there. I got knocked into the time stop, which is a little unfortunate if that happens, but just CC break right away and it should be fine. Goes up, final ad phase. Drag him out, drag him over to the other fate. The ads are the hardest part of this fight. As long as you can kill the ads and you can do downstairs, then this fight's pretty easy. See, I almost missed the statue here, but I managed to get behind it in time. Once he goes into execute, which is 35% and below, see, because everything turns like that. Don't mistake that for marked for death. His animation is a lot different. So you see I got a meteor here, so you just dodge roll backwards and take it behind you. and then don't have to worry about it. This phase, he does Mark for Death a lot less frequently, and so you'll see I don't think I even change once. And so that's another reason why the tank with Yolnahkriin should take him first, because then the tank with Yolnahkriin will be taunting him more of the time. But there's no more downstairs, there's no more ads, which makes... I got 2 meteors. And so I just take it back by the other one. I could have taken it back more like this direction. That way I don't get knocked into it there. But it's not a big deal. The meteors won't insta-kill you if you're a tank. They just do quite a bit of damage. They're kind of like the fire circle from the fire boss. So you see right here, we kind of got unlucky. Courier was the only one dead, and he was the one that a meteor targeted, and so it kind of got stuck there. But there is Veteran Sunspire. You see, I died once to trash. Otherwise, I didn't die any. And yeah, that is it. I hope you all learned something here. I hope it was informative or something. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will get one of these done for every trial. And I will start doing like the off-tank roll and stuff like that. And so yeah, just be on the lookout for these videos if you liked them. Slowly getting better with my recording. And so, oh, you see right here, I'm going through my combat metrics. You see taunt on a lot of these is only at, like, for Yolnahkriin it's at 44%. And so that means that he was only on the ground for 44% of the fight, and he was in the air for the other 56%. And so you can compare your uptimes to that, because assuming that you have taunt on him the entire time. And so you see that my Engulfing Flames uptime was about 30%. So that's more like 75%, which is decent. It's not super great. Could be better, but it's a lot better than Cloud Rust. Oh, here you go. I forgot to click on him. So actually taunt was at 89%. And so, yeah, that was a lot more rough. 30 of 89 is like 33. So, could be better, but it's not bad. I didn't die. That's what matters most still. But yeah, always room for improvement. I'm not the best tank, and I don't pretend to be. And so, yeah. Again, hope you all enjoyed this. Hope it was informative, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.